The Epstein files, these guys are chums. I love Trump as much as a straight man can love another man. Remember that? That was like 2 weeks ago. How do you go from literally being best friends to implying that Trump is on the Epstein list? The reason is this isn't a political fight. This is what happens when you have two guys. One's mastered physics and the other has mastered social status. Do you remember Musk actually moved to Pennsylvania for a few weeks to help Trump campaign and win the state? And what did Trump do in return? He gave him his own government department. He let him name it after a meme coin, and then Musk said he'd run it for free, right? He's not exactly a guy with a lot of spare time. They were really looking out for each other. Okay, then Congress presents a spending bill and everything just explodes. But here's what nobody understands. Even if they're both after the same thing, the problem is they literally speak two different languages, unless Elon had planned this breakup of something bigger. We'll get into that here in a little bit. But look at Musk's tweets. We'll look at how an engineer communicates here. Bankrupting America is not okay. Classic. Direct statement of fact. No subtext. That's exactly what you see. So many of these guys, super high IQs. They're engineered. They're well studied. They never make the money they deserve. I see it all the time. You've probably seen it in your own companies. They think if they just present the facts and they work hard and do the right thing, that they'll end up winning and get promoted and make more money. It doesn't work like that. Status wins arguments. Facts don't. This is very important to learn, but not for this video. I'll break it down in another video. I'll put a link below here. But look at what happens when Musk gets emotional. He immediately goes for the jugular and brings up the Epstein files. Think about this. This isn't some naive engineer who doesn't understand Twitter. Musk knows exactly how explosive this accusation is. When a man worth $400 billion feels betrayed, he doesn't debate policy details anymore. He goes directly for the throat, unless again, he knows exactly what he's doing. Because who benefits from a public breakup with Trump? Well, maybe a guy who wants to pull in moderate Democrats into a new party. Maybe a guy who needs to distance himself from Trump and MAGA and build something different. Okay, now let's look at Trump. Let's watch a master at work. Trump's response is calm and cool and collected and not what anyone expected. What did he say? I didn't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. Now think about what he just said. He's not defending himself against the Epstein accusation. He's not explaining the bill. He's refraining from conflict. He's saying, I don't mind. He's showing that he's completely emotionally unaffected. This is very important in displaying high status. Then he goes for the entire narrative flip and says, I asked him to leave and he went crazy. So what's he doing? What's he really doing here? He's positioning himself as the calm executive dealing with an unstable employee. He doesn't argue facts. He doesn't get into all that. He's just trying to control the frame. And if you've never heard of that term, the frame is basically who gets to decide what a specific situation or interaction means. Whoever controls the frame controls how everyone interprets what happened. Trump operates in a world where votes are currency. You want this congressman vote? You give his district a new highway. You want the senator's support? You fund their pet project. That's the game. So when Trump calls this the greatest bill ever presented, he's exaggerating. He's speaking politician. The words aren't about speaking the direct factual truth. They're about social momentum. They create a reality that gets votes. And that's how deals get done when a lot of other people are debating the little nuanced details. And Musk, one of these guys, he reads into this and he thinks that Trump has lost his mind. And Trump sees Musk's criticism as he feels like he's been betrayed, right? He thinks Musk is melting down. Both are right. Or, here's the twist, maybe Musk realizes exactly the game he's playing. Maybe he realizes you can't start a new political party when you're still in Trump's shadow, right? You need a public break. You need independence. So Musk tweets, SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately. And in engineering culture, that's a negotiation tactic. Here's what happens if we don't fix this. Clear cause and effect. But in power games, that's a direct threat to national security. You just showed that you'll burn everything down if you don't get things your way. Now, in a few hours, Elon had backed down. Okay, we won't decommission the Dragon. But the threat itself was the flex. Look at what I control. Look at what I can take away. A pure power display. And then Musk drops this. Should we consider a new political party? Now suddenly the whole fight looks different. Trump only has 3.5 years left. Musk has decades. I think he's like 53 years old. Maybe this has always been his plan. Learn the system from the inside out. Get into the White House. It earned credibility on both sides and then break away when you feel like the moment's right. Even his transparency may be strategic, attracting the Democrats who hate everything about Trump. The two possibilities are either two of these incredibly talented, smart guys just torched a partnership over miscommunication. One speaking engineering and the other is speaking high status and power. Or we're watching him play out a status game while pretending he doesn't know what's going on. He's twiddling and balancing forks and silverware, pretending like he's the dope. Now, either way, the lesson is the same. High status communication isn't just about being understood. It's about controlling what people think they understand. Now, this is way too advanced for most engineers and high IQ guys. They're blind to it. They completely don't see it. They think that grinding 60-hour weeks, missing their kid's baseball game. I see that, killing themselves at work, while some guy who leaves at 3 o'clock every day makes twice the amount of money. They sadly think it's about performance, and it's not. It's about status. Your income is reflected by your status, not your effort. If you want me to explain that much deeper to you, it's very important. There's a video right underneath here that I'll do it. I'll talk to you there.